Or we're joined by three very special guests. These three people will be our hosts for today. I'm just here. I'm sharpening my pencil, prepare my newscast. Isaiah Ramirez putting on his cleats to be our sportscaster, and Laura Zaccardi is tuning her instruments for her music segments. First, we are joined by someone who heard of the Morning Buzz Alumni Week celebration just this week, a couple days ago, and instantly knew that she had to be a part of it. 5 years ago in the fall of 2016, this alumni joined WMSC and immediately joined the Buzz. Thank you. In just one semester, she made her way from a news contributor to a host. By the next year, she picked up the role of news director, and then in her senior year was station manager, which, by the way, was also one of the years WMSC was nominated for a Marconi Award. Nowadays, you can find her at ABC News, except for today when she's here with us. Welcome back, Kate Braunstein.
Thank you.
Next up on the roster is the first ever person to be given the title that many people have poured countless sleepless nights into, including myself. This is the title of Morning Buzz producer. While the show may be turning 7 today, we've never had a dedicated producer role until this person came into the mix. Welcome back to WMSC, Frankie Perez.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And sleepless is definitely the right adjective.
It is the perfect adjective.
Oh, 100%.
And now is the man who made this entire week possible, because without him, the show wouldn't even exist. That's right. We're joined by the creator himself. Throughout all his time at WMSC, he was the assistant news director, programming director, and station manager. That is a mouthful of titles, but that shows his dedication to our station. Here he is, Juan Contla. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite. Happy to be back.
I'm very excited for this show. Isaiah, please give us our sportscast.
The Sportscast?
The Sportscast.
Go Sports.
Interesting. All right, guys. It was an electric one in the world of NBA as LeBron James will miss several games due to testing positive for COVID-19. The star took 3 tests and 2 came back positive. But if we know anything about LeBron, is that no lead is safe around him, and COVID might pull a Golden State Warriors and blow it to 1 lead. Anyways, we go to the MLB as a lockout of Major League Baseball players appears imminent after talks between the league and the union ended after just 7 minutes of negotiation Wednesday afternoon, less than 12 hours before the expiration of the game's collective bargaining agreement. In MLS news, and for those who don't know what the MLS is, that's soccer, American soccer. The MLS conference finals are almost here as the Portland Timbers take on Real Salt Lake in December December 4th, and the Philadelphia Union take on New York City FC December 5th. Now for the NFL, today is Thursday, which means only one thing. The week 13 of the NFL season kicks off as the Dallas Cowboys take on the New Orleans Saints. Both teams are looking to start December on a high note, as both of them have had terrible months in November. They've barely won 1 game combined. So now we're going to move on to our final topic of the day, and that's NCAA football. One of my favorites is number 10 Oregon takes on number 17 Utah tomorrow in the first Power 5 conference championship of the weekend. And according to ESPN's Power Index, Utah has a 61% chance of winning, but do not let that fool you and listen to my wise words coming from a man in a brown shirt, despite losing to Utah 2 weeks ago. And I mean, like, they lost big, like not even a little bit close. I expect Oregon to redeem themselves for the loss earlier in the season as the Ducks win 35-23. Book it right now. Take it to the betting halls. Do what you want with it. That's the Sportscast.
Thank you, Isaiah, for the Sportscast. Coming up next, we've got a story about, I forgot how to read. We've got a story about the Omicron variant. But before we dive into that, here's a song from 2021 World College Radio Day ambassador Weird Al Yankovic. This one is called Happy Birthday. Juan, please give us our first story of the day. I'm throwing it to you now. Thanks for the idea, Frankie. I like the whispers.
No problem. I appreciate it. I think it'll work. I think that's a really good line of communication.
All right, sounds good. Juan, do it. Please don't whisper.
Now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay, we're good. Hey, listen, Zoom is so confusing to me now.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't blame you.
All right, the United States has reported its first case of the Omicron variant in a returning traveler. The U.S. confirmed that this was yesterday, and the traveler who returned to California after a trip to South Africa on November 22nd. The man developed mild symptoms and tested positive for COVID-19 on Monday. Researchers at the University of California, San Francisco obtained a sample from the patient on Tuesday evening and worked feverishly overnight, good use of words, to assemble that genetic sequence. The person was fully vaccinated and expecting a booster shot. Yesterday, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the United States top infectious disease expert, announced that the White House has announced that we knew it was just a matter of time before the first case of the Omicron variant would be detected in the United States.
Thank you, Juan. So now I have to explain this to you guys because you're all the alumni. So what we do now at this portion of the show, we just talk about our thoughts on this. So
Sounds
take
good.
it away. Take the floor.
I guess I'll just spearhead. I mean, in all honesty, this, I don't want to say was expected at a time, but I know from working in a newsroom that like once you get the first like even like whisperings of another variant happening, like this happened back when Delta was like thriving, like you hear something, and I don't know, I'm a person who can't leave work at work, like I bring it home with me, and like as soon as I heard Omicron, I like started double masking again. I started like I'm really like I'm not in the mood to take public transportation anymore. Like I know we've had one reported case in the US, but that is one reported case, right? Like we're not necessarily sure.
Yeah, that's just one reported.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it's like it's something like I think President Joe Biden had said a couple of days ago that it is no need to be alarmed. It is definitely a need to be concerned, but not necessarily alarmed. And yet there's like little people here and there who have already had like such a hard time with COVID as it is, that like it is very hard to not be alarmed. And I think I'm already taking those precautions, knowing that I'm going into work, knowing that I'm going into Manhattan, you know, like little things like that. Like there's part of me that's like, oh man, like I really wish this wasn't happening, but it was almost expected.
I think once something has a name, it's kind of already expected to already be wherever you're located. And we saw this with COVID-19 originally, where it might have been already in the US before the US had already detected it. Same with Delta and now with Omicron. And I mean, I guess the emphasis is if you weren't already doing as much as you were, now is the time, which is more emphasis on getting boosters, making sure you're already vaccinated, double masking.
It's like you said, Juan, the fact that it has a name, it kind of makes it expected. I never really thought of it that way, but it makes a lot of sense. Frankie, can you please give us our next story?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the biggest challenge to abortion rights in decades, the Supreme Court's conservative majority on yesterday said they would allow states to ban abortion much earlier in pregnancy and may even overturn the nationwide right that has existed for nearly 50 years. The outcome probably won't be known until next June 2022, but after nearly 2 hours of arguments, all 6 conservative justices, including 3 appointed by former President Donald Trump, indicated that they would uphold a Mississippi law that bans abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy. At the very least, such a decision would undermine Roe and Casey, which allows states to regulate but not ban abortion up until the point of fetal viability at roughly 24 weeks. There was also substantial support among the conservative justices for getting rid of Roe and Casey altogether. Justice Clarence Thomas is the only member of the court who has openly called for overruling the 2 cases. If the court issues its decision in late June, it will be a little more than 4 months before next year's congressional elections and could become a campaign season rallying cry.
I think this is something that, at least for me, because Frankie, you've known me for a long time. Juan, you've known me for a long time. And the thing is, just speaking as a woman here, it's no secret that I'm a pro-life person. I've said that multiple times. You guys know this. So what people think about me is they automatically think that because you're this, that you are for the ruling and the law and putting it as a mandate by law. And what surprised people is not necessarily, because there's certain clauses in the laws that I'm like, wait a second. So basically putting it into a law is not going to fix the issue. That's just going to make things more tense. It's going to make things worse. People are going to be more against each other than they already are. And it's definitely something that divides women altogether.
No matter what you do, people are going to be upset.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
You're not wrong.
No.
You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
And I am just sick and tired personally of women battling each other in this situation. We have enough pressures as it is from everybody else that we don't need to be against each other. So it's like whenever I just cringe whenever there's news about a new law regarding this, because I'm thinking, oh goodness, like now when it's brought into like a law, it's like this is like I'm just waiting forever for like the same storm over and over and over again. And I feel like it's a broken record. And it's like the minute you, like I said, you put something like that in there, it's like, okay, it makes people more angry. They're going to be like, oh no, liberals, conservatives, blah, 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 blah. It's just over and over and over again. And I'm tired of it.
It's a war, basically.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I think-
tired of battling each other with it.
I know you said you're pro-life and I'm pro-choice, but
Yeah.
I think the one thing that women need to do is come together and help support each other.
There are ways to fix this issue without laws in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And this is like, oh my, like you just said, there needs to be a way to come together with this. I have ideas, but you know, that's it. It takes everyone.
It does. And not everyone's gonna come together like that.
Not everyone is.
And also, it also has to do with respect. Like people don't respect other people.
Not at all.
No, that's where it lacks.
Right.
That's why we can't come together. We're just so divided, and I think we should extend the olive branch. But
Yeah, whatever this ruling is that we're referring to, guys, it's like when I just don't think it should be in law, period. I just don't think this is something you should bring into that.
I
I
agree.
I think that amongst each other, this has to get sorted out, but not with, judges and laws and all this stuff, because that's not going to fix nothing.
The government shouldn't be telling me what to do with my body.
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
yeah. It's like
so do we really need to get the law and
involved?
judges?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the question. Do we need to get the law involved? I'd say no.
No.
And there we have it. You just saw two people agree on that. So if that can happen,
That was beautiful.
that was beautiful.
That was a great moment.
That was
Yeah,
our next story.
You know what I
That was a
loved
great-
about you know what I loved about that is that every man in the room kept quiet and let the women talk about the
I would
the,
like
the
to
issue
talk
that
about
has
this.
nothing to do with us. Correct.
Isaiah, not now.
nope.
It's
That's
It's
probably one of the most civil conversations between a pro-life and pro-choicer too, which was great. I applaud you both.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy
Hats
right
off
now.
to you.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared.
I
was too.
Oh,
I'm
I was
sweating.
shaking in my boots.
And I'm in a hoodie, and it's like, oh my, I just met her. How's this gonna
Yes.
go, y'all?
Me too.
It went very well though.
But isn't
I
that
agree.
sad that we have to have that feeling of like nervousness?
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, that I
Like,
completely
why?
Yeah.
agree with you. But can you please give us our third story of the day?
Of course it can. So the Hudson River Rail Tunnel gets the green light from the feds to start building it. So a final bureaucratic hurdle has been cleared by the Gateway Tunnel project after the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers issued a permit to allow construction of the tunnel and tracks through the Meadowlands and under the Hudson River. It's pretty cool. The approved permits allow construction of the $12.3 billion project to build 2 new tunnels and rehabilitate the existing 111-year-old tunnels to start in summer 2023 once funding is secured. The permits cap a year of major progress for the Gateway project. In May, the project to repair the 2 110-year-old tunnels with two new received ones, and long-awaited environmental approval that will move New York and New Jersey one step closer to building them after a 3-year delay from a promised 2018 date. The federal infrastructure permitting dashboard shows a big check mark that the Hudson Tunnel project has gotten all federal and environmental permits as well. And the tunnel increases capacity, allowing more trains to be sent to and from Penn Station. Frankie, we could probably talk about that. Opening up access to New Jersey transit lines that don't go to New York. The tunnels are a key part of the Amtrak's high-speed rail and Northeast Corridor upgrades. Juan, also you and I, all three of us, anybody who goes in and out of the city or has gone in and out of the city,
As long as it doesn't add another hour to my commute, I'll be fine, right?
It sounds
Honestly,
like it's meant to do
is
the
it-
opposite.
If this can somehow, but
Well,
it's
the
going to add 2
construction
extra hours
itself.
right now.
That's
So as
true.
long as we can avoid all that,
yeah.
I'd be happy with it.
In all honesty, look, if I'm trying to get through the Lincoln Tunnel, it really depends on what time I leave my house, right? Like, depending on the shift, depending on rush hour, like I could be anywhere from half an hour to like 2 hours getting to work. And it's like a little fun little grab bag, you know? My commute's like a box of chocolates. I'll never know what I'm gonna get. So hey, you know what? People taking the train, people taking, different modes of transportation, power to you. Hopefully this gets done sooner rather than later. If it was 3 years delayed and they're planning on getting it done next year, how long will that construction take? And if so, you better get me to work on time still. Hashtag people working on those tunnels, because transportation's a nightmare in the first place, right? And I guess you need to mitigate it somehow. But
Yeah, it's been again, there was a 2018 date that they had, and
yeah.
it got pushed, to say the least, about 3-4 years.
But that's a good
So-
question, because if it got pushed in 2018, then it's not a COVID related thing, right? Like a lot of things in 2019 to 2020 got pushed because
No,
of
this
COVID.
wasn't pushed from COVID.
This is not pushed
No,
for COVID. This is
I
pushed
think
that's-
for other reasons.
I think that's a misconception a lot of people have had. Like, oh, COVID stopped. No. This was way before COVID was even a thing.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped taking public transit, was right when COVID started. And I'm like, I got to take my car now. All the way in the city.
Thank you for bringing us that story, Kate. Up next, we have got some more beloved weird news stories from the Morning Buzz. We do it every single day here. And don't worry, Florida Man will be making an appearance.
Let's go.
We love Florida
But
Man.
before-
Oh, we love
Florida
Florida
Man.
Man.
Oh my
Here
guy.
is happy birthday. Here's Happy Birthday by Altered Images. Welcome back to WMSC 90.3 FM. That was Happy Birthday by Altered Images. We have a whole ton of happy birthday songs today. I spent a long time trying to find them all. I'm just gonna give myself credit for that. It took me so long to find all of those songs.
You don't like my suggestions.
You
Ooh.
suggested that song.
Brr.
You did suggest
Which
that
song
song.
was it?
Whoa.
Ooh,
Wait.
called out on the spot.
No, the
Altered
music
Images.
person.
You
Oh
suggested
no.
Not really. I
Yes,
was
you
like,
did.
I was half asleep last night.
Anyway, Florida Man. It's time he's making his appearance for the show. Juan, please give us the story.
Oh, I love Florida Man. All right. First Coast News reported on an arrest report that said 41-year-old Florida man threw a burrito at his girlfriend. A
Nice.
responding deputy found the woman with contents of the burrito spread across her face, neck, and shoulder area. And the man was arrested and faces domestic battery charges.
Frankie, I love your reaction. Go for it.
Florida Man, why you doing this, man? Like, all right, listen.
Florida.
Half this story, like, definitely wrong. Like, domestic battery,
I
bad guy.
debated putting it in for that reason.
I did the
Yeah.
same thing, Kenny. I wasn't sure if I should do it or not.
It's like I love like the funny news portion, but like this like is like a good like segment because it's like bad men, all men are bad. That's not true, but I said it anyway. Attacking a girlfriend, but if you got a little Chipotle on your face, that's kind of funny. That's like
Yeah.
like not to be whatever. Like there's,
I
like,
have,
half
I have
of it that's, like-
questions. I have questions. Though.
All right.
I want to
Is
say
she-
I have answers, but
I don't know if we have answers, Kenny.
No, hypothetical questions. Like you get okay. There's burrito contents all over your body. Isn't a natural response just to wipe it off? The fact that they stayed on while authorities got there,
I'd probably start
Maybe
eating.
they
it.
were debating eating it. Yeah.
they're debating eating it.
I
Either
was
the
saving it
police
for
got there
later.
really fast,
I want to know where it's
or-
from.
Yeah.
Like,
What
is
burrito place?
Chipotle? Is it
Maybe
is
was
it Del
homemade.
Taco?
Maybe it was homemade.
Del
Shabaka
Taco.
Yeah, did you just say
Shabaka
Del
do?
Taco?
Is that even in Florida? Does that exist in Florida?
Time
Did
to
I just
go
hear-
look.
What is a
I'm
Del
not sure.
Taco?
I heard of
Oh,
it on
man.
SNL. I don't know.
What is a Del Taco?
Del
Wait,
Taco's like a West Coast thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's a-
Kenny,
it's like
you
a
would
West
love
Coast-
it.
There is
It's a
one in
West
Florida.
Coast Taco Bell.
There's one in Orlando.
What's the California tortilla?
And-
I eat California tortilla every single day.
Oh my
Get
god.
Oh my God.
I eat California
Oh.
Oh my
tortilla.
God.
I haven't heard
I
California.
burrito.
I haven't heard that name in.
I haven't heard
forever.
California tortilla since like 2018.
I know, right?
2019.
You're not
Oh,
missing
they
out on
know
much,
my order.
Frankie.
Oh
They
no,
know
I
my
knew
order.
that, Kenny. I was just saying. I was like, I know
Hurricane-
I'm not missing out on much, but
They know my order.
Hurricane Katrina.
that's sweet. That's
More
very
like
sweet.
It's amazing.
California
Tara,
tortillas.
hooks me up every
Tyler,
day.
no.
Oh, you're on first name basis?
We are
Big
on a
Vine
first name
energy.
basis. I ask her how her day is. She asks me how mine's going. It's one of my
Aw.
favorite parts of the day.
It's a
Oh,
And then,
love
and then
story
when
in
she
the-
gives
in
it
the
to me, I say,
making?
"I'll see you tomorrow."
That's the best feeling in the whole world. Getting free tortilla chips because like the little cafeteria lady kind of likes you. It's awesome.
Oh, Ken, you should get the digits, man.
You should, bro.
Whoa!
Come
I
on.
haven't seen her in years. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. No.
How did I
Oh,
end up getting
jeez.
bullied by all of you?
Not bullied. This is
Not
advice, Kenny. This
Yeah.
is advice.
Playfully
We're
bullied.
trying
I'm
to help
scared of
you.
this.
You
We're
got a
moving on
free
to the
shot
next
at
story.
love right there.
Emphasis
What
of
did you
trying.
just say? I'm scared. I'm scared of this.
And a
Let's
free
move on
shot
to
at
the next
lunch.
story.
Yeah. Hey.
Nice.
Oh no.
Frankie, please
You
give us
should
our
shoot a
next
shot.
weird news.
Absolutely. Love weird news. All right. Woman calls cops as boyfriend stops talking to her after a fight. Oh, wow. This is real. All right. In a bizarre case, a woman approached the police after her boyfriend stopped talking to her. The couple had a fight after the woman did not wish the man a happy birthday on his birthday for some reason. Oh, that's sad, right?
Oh.
After the fight, the man stopped talking to the woman altogether. She made several attempts to get in touch with him, but in vain. The woman eventually called up the cops to seek their help to get her to talk to her boyfriend. The police called the man to the police station, and the couple was counseled after a few hours. After the police reconciled them, they were advised to get married. Wow,
What?
Kenny, you really pick them.
Wow.
The family members of the couple agreed, and according to Times Now News, they actually did.
No.
Alrighty. What
Wow.
the heck?
I just want to say I love the stock photo on the article. Its photo credit
I
is
need to
I
see
stock.
it.
No.
When I looked at it, I'm like, this is a stock photo. And it was.
Hilarious.
Yeah, there's no way.
Listen,
Oh.
if people
I
didn't,
really want that to be them.
she's hovering over. It's so funny. It's like woman sat on couch, man, arms crossed, mad on couch. Amazing. Love this stock photo.
His hair is fantastic.
There's a
though, in that
subreddit.
picture.
There's a
Honestly.
subreddit for weird stock photos.
I do
It's
love
great.
weird stock photo
Oh, me
subreddit.
too.
It's a good one.
I just
No.
want, I've done some crazy things, like in the sense of, like I'm like, you didn't wish me a happy birthday. I've done that before to like anyone I've been like, in a relationship with. I've never called the cops. I mean, like I just
Maybe you
want to know
should
what the
have.
maybe
because
I
then
should
maybe
have.
maybe you
Yeah, you'd be
you
married
get
by now,
hitched.
probably.
Make a statement.
You know what, Juan? That is true. That is so true. Like here I am. I'm like 25 now, and I'm like quarter life crisis.
Oh man.
Next time that happens, now I know what to do.
Oh,
Well-
well,
There you
that
go.
to 100. Nice.
Or I'll just throw a
Also-
burrito at him.
Listen, if
Oh,
any of our
my
listeners out there or anybody on our social medias don't wish WMSC a happy birthday, we
Well,
might
that-
threaten.
WMSC
We'll go
happy
to Cal-
birthday is in April.
What happened? Oh, that's true.
WMSC
All right,
happy
so
birthday
the
is in
morning
April.
buzz. If
Morning
you're listening to
buzz?
the morning
Wow.
buzz, I
Morning buzz.
apologize.
We
Morning
got a
buzz.
problem if you don't. Do
We
it.
got a
Morning-
problem, and we're
I might
calling
have to
campus
talk to
police.
Tara, account
That's
for
it.
tortilla. You might have to withhold your beans.
Morning buzz is a spicy.
might have a problem.
side.
Yeah, I'll say we're just
Withhold
gonna.
your beans.
Nobody want those beans, Kenny.
I'll
That's
just
not a
bring
sentence
home.
I never thought
I'll
I'd
just bring
say.
home a lot of California tortilla. You know, when I
Tortilla.
hop back tortilla.
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 When I hop back in my car and then see how the Cherry Hill folk like it.
Oh,
I
Nice.
love California tortilla.
But I want to say that it sounds like at the end of the day, all this couple needed was love. Coming up next on the Celebration Morning Buzz, turning 7 years old, we are covering Spotify Wrapped. That is right. I mention it all the time on the Morning Buzz that I am a huge Beatles fan.
I think you like the Beatles.
I do like the Beatles.
I'm
Here's the thing.
obsessed with them.
You can be sure they
I
made
like
my top
burritos
5
and
artists.
Beatles.
Nice.
Welcome back to the Morning Buzz here at WMSC 90.3 FM. And now we're going to go to our special music segment. We're talking about Spotify Wrapped. Laura, please give it to us.
I will gladly give it to you. So yesterday, Spotify released Spotify
X
Wrapped.
won't give it to you. X. I'm sorry. Ignore me.
I knew that was coming.
Ignored. For those who don't know, I don't know how you don't know, but I will inform you anyway. Spotify Wrapped comes out at the beginning of December, and it's a breakdown of what you listened to this year. So for today's segment, we're going to compare and contrast each other's Wrapped reviews, or in my case, Apple Music's free play because I use that.
Whoa!
I
Whoa!
Apple
Music.
You led with the
Wow,
wrong
dude.
streaming
What did
service.
You had like what 69 minutes of Spotify, right?
What?
Nice.
No, you'll find out.
No, we talked.
Wait.
Good point. You had. I think you had.
You'll find out.
We'll talk about this later.
That's my top artists. Okay, so my top 5 songs are "Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High" by the Arctic Monkeys,
Sick.
"Red Light Indicates Doors Are Secured" by the Arctic Monkeys, "Knee Socks" by the Arctic Monkeys, Number One Party Anthem by the Arctic Monkeys, and About You by Caravan Palace.
Nice.
And thank you. And then moving on to my top artists, we have the Arctic Monkeys at 69 hours.
It was hours.
Yes.
Yes.
Caravan Palace at 54 hours. All-time low at 47 hours. Water Parks at 24, and Catfish in the Bottom at 22.
Yours goes by hours. That's weird.
Well,
You're weird.
I'm weird.
Typical.
I'm a
asshole.
weirdo. I don't fit in.
Me neither.
I know you get it. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on?
You're not even wearing a hat.
It's from Riverdale, bro.
Oh,
Bro, I'm
no,
sorry.
references to pop culture.
I'm
Something
sorry,
I'm not
bro.
that great at.
That's okay.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
Does one of you want to go ahead? One of
Please
our
do.
alumni.
Well, so
Okay, Frankie.
I have a really funny Spotify Wrapped thing because as soon as I saw it yesterday, I immediately put it on my story, and I had like 6 people DM me and be like, "This is the funniest thing I've seen all day." Now, I don't wear my heart on my sleeve, but I kind of do sometimes. And who is one artist this year that was breaking down barriers, destroying the patriarchy, and crashing through that glass ceiling? Hashtag Olivia Rodrigo. Hashtag Rodrigo Gang. Now, it is so funny because I went through a little breakup this summer, and Sour was the breakup album of the year.
Yes.
So my top 5 songs are in order: Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo, Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, Brutal by Olivia Rodrigo, and One Step Forward, Three Steps Back by, you guessed it, Olivia Rodrigo.
Are you doing okay?
I'm a mess.
No,
I
me
saw
too.
it-
Me too, Frankie. I was just about to say, like,
I saw it on my rap yesterday, and I went, "Oh, Frankie."
I haven't
Come
had
on,
a
man.
legit boyfriend since high school, and any song by Olivia Rodrigo I apply to everyday life and the
Oh,
people I'm
man.
dealing with. So even though I haven't had a recent breakup necessarily, I'm like, you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
Literally
It's
hilarious. I was like,
I'm like, woo!
the album slaps. Let's be honest. It is an anthem for anybody
is.
who like
Slapping.
believes in that. It slaps. And back in June, I bought the clear vinyl. I have that in my collection. I bought some merch. Like hashtag Rodrigo Stan over here. And
Hashtag Vinylthon.
Throw out the
Hashtag Vinylthon.
man. Throw 'em
Yes.
up.
Vinylthon 4
Yeah.
months away.
Oh,
He's gonna
geez.
come back.
Oh no! I just play Olivia Rodrigo. Just play the whole thing. No, it's just an anthem, and anybody who says otherwise is wrong. And by the facts of life, you're just wrong. And I apologize to anybody who I've offended.
I lose it to driver's license. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
uh-huh.
You did karaoke at the Halloween.
I did. It was
Oh.
awful.
If karaoke wasn't awful, was it really karaoke?
That's a good point.
Uh-huh.
Lara and I have a karaoke show actually.
Do you?
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, that's
Wow.
hilarious.
I
It's a
have
lot of
not
fun.
been
I need to
invited
listen to
this
that.
show.
That's all.
It's
Very
an open door,
interesting.
Isaiah.
open
Isaiah,
door.
tell us
Hmm.
about your Spotify rap.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I want to
So
hear
I'll
you
just say my
complain. I'm
artists
tired
right
of it.
now. No one's probably gonna know them. We have at number 1 Raul Alejandro, Maria Becerra, Manila Gray, Kia, and the baddest of all bunnies, my top artists. Oh, and
Nice.
interestingly
Nice.
enough, I think the most my interesting thing about my Spotify rap is the amount of minutes listened. So for those who don't know, I work as well at a Walmart. So they let me have my AirPods in. So I'm
Nice.
like cranking out hours of podcasts and songs. Listen to this number. I have listened to 82,278 minutes of audio.
That surpasses Kyle's.
So there you have it, guys.
Wow.
2,000.
How many hours is that for the Apple users?
2,000 minutes.
Oh yeah, I wonder how many
think-
hours.
The
that is.
Apple
I forgot.
users.
I have to ask him.
Let me
That-
Google
that's-
They go by hours.
Wait,
Yeah,
it's in the
that's like
Discord.
nothing.
It's in the Discord.
82,000.
You're the actually Isaiah.
That's
you're the
like
only
57
person-
days, right? 57 days of music.
57 days of music.
That seems about right.
Um,
you know,
well,
8-hour
that's about
shifts.
525 in a year, 525,000. So
Ooh.
that is about 20% of a day. So I used to be a math major for.
He lost me.
That's
This is too
fun.
much math.
Bless
No, it
you.
wasn't. It
Oh
wasn't.
yeah,
too
Kenny, I
much
have
math
math homework.
going on.
I have math homework.
Hey, Kenny, I met
Math
I want to do it.
And Lara,
Thank you.
we'll talk later.
I think it's
Yeah.
safe to say I just
Oh.
listened to a lot of stuff.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
about
I found Kyle.
Yeah.
Big
that's,
time.
That is about
I was
500.
telling I was telling
That's about
Frankie
5 hours a day.
before we went on air, my Spotify Wrapped is all over the place because I do wedding DJ work on the side,
Oh,
and
cool.
I use my Spotify for cocktail hour and ceremony, so it's all wedding music.
Oh, I see. Still want to give
Juan-
us the countdown?
I'm excited for this
What's up?
one.
Still want to give us the countdown?
Please do.
I mean, my top 5 artists. I'll give you my top 5 artists.
Yeah,
My top 5
yeah,
artists
please.
were Cascade, Bad Bunny,
Ooh,
Full
Hey,
Disclosure,
Bad Bunny
and,
out here.
and J Balvin
Cascade.
was 5.
Yep.
Taste.
But
That's
J
awesome.
Balvin, man.
the playlist they make, it's all wedding cocktail music.
Yeah.
So the opposite of Olivia Rodrigo
Do
Sour.
you-
is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
You know what you
basically.
can do? You can
Nice.
just play that. You can just play that playlist at the weddings now.
Yeah, they did my job.
Those millennials.
Those millennials.
Those
Kenny, you have to
millennials.
play a Bad Bunny song on the next commercial.
If he has a song called "Happy Birthday," sure.
I knew he was gonna, I was like, man, if Bad Bunny has
Like,
a happy
stick to
birthday
the
song,
script.
If you find me one, done.
Wait,
Ah,
on Instagram,
Yeah,
you're saying
about
happy
3
birthday.
minutes, Isaiah.
It's not gonna happen.
I want to say one before I say mine. I
Oh,
want to give a little
no.
message from our general manager. She gave me hers. Her top
Hey.
5 are
Hmm.
Yonaka, who made I think her top song of the year called "No Surprise." No, Seize the Power. I take that back. Then Lil Nas X, which is shocking considering her. Then James Hood, No Te Va Gustar, and Beach House.
love
Those are Annabelle Poland's top 5.
Beach
Now-
House and Lil Nas. We love it.
Okay,
Now-
Annabelle.
The
Two, wow.
taste. Immaculate.
Now I will give mine. My number 1 artist of the year, just like last year, was Sean James. She just sent me a text. She goes, "Yo!" Not I thought I said yo, thanks.
Oh my
It says
gosh.
yo, Naka.
Yo.
Yo,
Yo,
Naka.
Naka.
Anyway,
that
Yo,
sounds wrong.
mama.
you're welcome.
I was waiting for it to happen there.
My number one artist of the year was Sean James, followed by John Mayer, and then the Beatles. I mentioned that they'd make it.
Yes.
4 was Foo Fighters, and 5 was My Chemical Romance. I was
I
told
love
by another
Yes.
friend I'm going through an emo phase.
I love my cat
Yeah.
so much.
That reminds
wild.
me of my
Love
8th grade
them.
year.
I haven't heard John Mayer come up in serious conversation in a very long time.
I'm a huge John Mayer fan. He's
Mine
an
is
awful
just-
There you go,
person,
Kenny.
but his music is great.
So
Like
mine's
Chris
like,
Brown.
Okay, they are completely different people. That is a whole other level of bad, Isaiah.
Oh my god.
I cannot believe you said that.
I got to come up here more often. I love
Breezy.
it.
You should.
Did you say
My
breezy?
list is all over the place, though.
Okay, let's hear
At
it.
least it's not Apple Music, am I right?
Yeah,
No,
Apple
it-
Music.
Ooh,
it is.
burn.
Mine is-
Only
You're a
nerds.
loser.
Mine is Apple.
What is it?
Mine is Apple Music. I had
Ah.
Spotify.
Oh,
for,
is
like-
it? Oh, come on,
What are
burn
we
again.
doing?
I can't afford
Double burn.
Spotify. I just
Ooh.
can't
Apple
afford
Music.
it.
I like how it's laid out.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's like
This guy stinks.
I like
I'm
Spotify. I
getting-
just
I'm
like
getting
I didn't have the money for it. So
Stop it. Get some help.
No.
We got sound.
Oh my! That was
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, no.
We got soundboard.
timing nothing
It's my
short of
favorite
perfect. So
That's the-
this
the
most
first time.
updated version, Niall Horan,
Nice.
Kid Ink, 24K Golden, Dan and Shay, and Bryce Vine.
Cool.
So if you know, like, so the song specifically, like, I don't really listen to Niall Horan, but when I worked at Target briefly, the song No Judgment kept playing. So I kept listening to it. Then Hotel, then Coco. You know the song Coco? I don't know.
I know the movie.
You go like Coco.
You make me un poco loco.
19 You and Me and La La Land.
Ooh, La La Land. I haven't seen that
Mhm.
one in a while.
Like the movie.
No, it's
I thought so.
Once again, we know
Oh.
the movie.
That was a
it's
movie?
like it's a kind of like hip hop rap. Like,
Cool.
so I'm a mix of like One Direction and then hip hop and rap. I love those genres. Even though One Direction is not a genre.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yes,
they
it
are.
is.
Come
If I ask
on.
my
There's
14-year-old
pop and
sister,
then
she'll say
there-
One
otherwise.
Direction.
One Direction's its own category.
I agree.
One Direction transcends
Direction.
pop.
One Direction was very influential in the 2010s of boy bands, kind of.
Oh
Think
yeah.
about it.
They're the modern.
I'd agree.
Beatles.
Exactly.
The modern Beatles.
They
Ooh.
broke, they broke
Don't-
Beatles records. It's true.
I
They
know.
they
I
did,
hate
Modern
to admit
Big
it,
Time
but it's
Rush.
true.
which makes
I
me
was just saying
sad.
you should play One Direction, but they don't have a birthday song.
Yeah.
Do
the
any of
Jonas-
them separately have a birthday song?
No, the Jonas Brothers. The Jonas Brothers had a birthday song.
I love the Jonas Brothers.
Seriously,
actually
I
met
spent
them.
like 2 hours looking for birthday songs. I did not find that.
It was
Anyway,
like a little jingle they did on
Was it
Radio
that
Disney.
difficult to find birthday songs?
like back
it
in the
was
day.
so hard to find ones that fit
Play Happy Birthday
and
and
ones
Oh,
that
ones
weren't
that
and
fit.
ones that weren't depressing. You'd
Didn't
be
I say again? Play
surprised how
Happy
many of them
Birthday.
were very sad. But speaking of
Happy
songs,
birthday.
we're going to
Making
kick
sad.
off the 12 days of Buzzmas. This is going to be our top 12 countdown of the year 2021. It's the beginning of our all new segment. This is going to be the countdown, this one, of the top 12 songs of 2021. Here it is.
Hello and welcome to the 12 days of Buzzmas. This is day number 12, where we will be counting down the top 12 songs of the year. Over the next 12
So how do
days
they
of the
determine the
Morning
12
Buzz, we will be
songs?
counting
Is this
down the
opinion?
year's top topics with different subjects each day. Today is day number 12, where we will be counting the top 12 songs released in 2021 with me, myself, Kyle Pepitone, our music librarian, Jared Tauber, and our Tunes on Tuesday segment host, Emily McCormack,
Bing bong.
and the ghost of Kenny.
On the 12 days of songs, my
Almost. A few more writing sessions and you got it, Jared.
One by Jack Sampson.
Just one. Just one.
Yeah. I mean, look, technically, I could have put all three of the signed singles in here, but I don't know. I'm like, I want to give that attention to some other really great music that came out this year. I wanted to keep it one per artist. I want to give it to 4 artists who I really thought shine. I really think shined bright this year.
No, shine.
Artists I really thought shined bright this year.
Yeah.
And those 4 artists, if we're beginning with my 4, because this isn't really a top 12. We collectively contributed 4 songs to a playlist, which are each of our top 4, but not necessarily the top 12, unless we go with the opinion that my songs are the best songs of the year, followed by Kyle's, followed by Emily's.
I don't know about that.
We could fight that later.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I mean, because we would never agree on an actual top 12, right? Our tastes are so varied.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's what the music team's about. Like I said, starting with my number 1, "Bad for Me" by Jack Sampson. I mean, it's a bop. It's a certified banger, bona fide slapper, right? Like, that's really what you can say about it. It's got a sick music video, and he hits those high notes. He's got those high notes on there, and it's good for you. It might be bad for me, but it's good for you. Similar to Jack Sampson being a debut artist right now, my second top song of the year is "After Last Night" with Thundercat and Bootsy Collins by Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak. And I am obsessed with "An Evening with Silk Sonic," which is their debut album. And this is my favorite track from it, and it's so good. It's the new Redbone. It's the new Let's Get It On. It's the new it's that new. It's that new with that old. You know, the old making it sound all familiar and nostalgic, and you got that 70s vibes, but it's so good. It is so good. Thirdly, I would like to bring this over to another relatively new album
Well, they
called
all came out this
Optimist.
year, so they're all relatively new.
Yeah, they all which is why I said relatively, because I could just say new, but they're relatively new. I mean, they are just kind of new. They're just new. All of these are new. All of these are so new. Actually, I think all of the songs I talked about so far came out in the fall. So you know what?
Yeah, looking over
Yeah.
mine, I'd have to say probably, but obviously we'll get to that.
But this is from an album called Optimist, which is, for the uninitiated, Phineas's debut album. And the song is called "The Kids Are All Dying." Again, my favorite track from it. It's so good. I saw him live and he played the song and everyone went crazy. And I really do love the lyrics though. and he talks about a lot of things, a lot of stuff, a lot of things, stuff and things, and he's great. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan.
Yeah.
And
you
then
were able to get a
fourth,
signed copy of the album, right?
yeah. Oh yeah. I got Kai, our station manager, a signed CD because she also loves Phineas. I saw her. I saw Phineas with her.
That's awesome. Can we get a round of
Really
applause
great.
for that?
Yeah, she's great. I mean, they're all dying and talks about love when the kids are all dying, and how can you sing about drugs? Politicians are lying. It's like all this stuff is going on in the world, all this bad things, and people are singing about like, trivial pop song topics, and when like how can you even write about this stuff or think about this stuff, and all of these other things are going on, and that's the kids are all dying there. And then he complains about how the internet doesn't give him a break. And I feel you, Phineas. I feel you, Phineas. And then my last contribution for the 12 songs for Buzz is Come Home, featuring Ayla Tesla Mabe from another debut album. Oh no, wait, that's actually such a lie. It is not a debut album.
Not at all.
It's not a debut album. Okay, redacted. This fourth song that I contributed to 12 songs for Buzz is called Come Home, featuring Ayla Tesla Mabe. Not from a debut album, but from a great album nonetheless called Lately I Feel Everything from Willow. And for those who don't know Willow Smith, daughter of Will Smith, sister of Jaden Smith, very talented family. But this album in particular, produced by the great Tyler Cole, is this awesome neo-punk revival, and she goes hard on this one. She goes hard on. There's a lot of guitars. She rocks out. She sings her absolute heart out, and this one is my favorite from the album. And I was obsessed with this during the summer. And it features Ayla Tesla Mabe, who is formerly of Calpurnia, a Canadian band that Finn Wolfhard was a part of.
Wait,
and
Finn Wolfhard was in a band?
Yeah, there's a band called Calpurnia.
Oh, there you go.
And
It's art.
that's kind of how Ayla Tesla Mabe broke through for the first time. But now she's just out here featuring on people's songs and providing her brilliant guitar skills and her tasty guitar riff catalog. So that sprinkled everywhere through Come Home, and I've listened to it so many times. And those are really just my 4 top songs of the year. Top songs that I still play all the time today, are still in my hot rotation, and I'll probably just have it that way for a while to come, until any of these artists put out something else. And then even then, who knows?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So those were the first relative 4 spots. I'm not going to say they're the first 4 because that would imply that Jared has the best, and I'm not going to say he doesn't have good music taste, but he clearly hasn't heard mine yet. So although I'm sure Emily, Jared, you both can guess one of the song or one of the artists that appears on my top 12 list.
Fire 10 Lives.
We're a tie. You should try to remember.
I know we have a dead air limit, but I just want to give that as much silence as that deserves, because that was awful.
Give us our list that we could not predict whatsoever.
But it would be more like Fire 10 Births.
Please stop. He's set his part. Can we kick him off now?
By Jared.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yes, Ice
I'd
Nine
like a muffin.
Kills has made
Unacceptable!
Ice Nine Kills has indeed made the list. I really couldn't choose one off of their latest album, the Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood. So I just went with the first single, Hip to Be Scared, which I believe has the best name out of all of them. Obviously, a song covering American Psycho featuring Christian Bale, the movie, not the song. And the song features, what's his face? Jacoby Shaddix of Papa Roach. I believe I'm saying that name right. If I'm not, I apologize. So yeah.
You have to take it up with him.
Yeah. If I take it up with him, that means I get to meet him. But that being said, yeah, cool song.
You get to meet his fist.
Got me super excited for the album. That being said, and in the bridge of the song, it has the what's it called? It has that whole Huey Lewis monologue
It's so fast.
that Christian Bale does in the movie. So perfect song all around in my
I've been
opinion.
pitching many sounds.
Number
and I
two,
didn't have any of them
once
come in
again,
there.
not a song,
Yeah.
not an album I can choose a song off
How
of.
do I get
So
sounds on
Citizen Soldiers, This Is Your Sign Part 1,
Okay, I'm gonna send you
specifically
a
Just Be Happy,
email of
a whole
sounds.
album talking about
That too.
different struggles we had. And I also got the opportunity to
I need
interview
the
lead
congratulations.
singer
You
Jake
please.
Segura. He was really cool. That was awesome. That
Joseph
should,
Kenny is interrupting just like Kyle actually has his phone number now.
that too.
What is being?
I'm not going to give it out though, so sorry. But yeah, the entire album is great. Very
Juan
well
said,
written,
find him
and
when you want to throw it to him.
definitely has a lot
Okay.
you can connect with. And part 2 of their double album is supposed to be coming out next year, which I'm super excited for. That being said, song number 3 at this point, like I was kind of grasping at straws because like those were my top 2 anticipated albums of the year, top 2 artists. So I just took a shot in the dark with this one. That being said, the next song is Glow in the Dark by Smash Into Pieces off of their new album, A New Horizon. Really cool album,
hear any
concept album,
noise.
I believe, rock opera of this like virtual reality futuristic dystopia. So it was really cool with that. And Glow in the Dark is the heaviest song off the album. And for some reason, going through the songs, there's this one song light lyric at the beginning of the second verse where they say, back on track, Nickelback's got me going for Nickelback's got me going for a ride on a dark horse. Obviously a reference to Nickelback's album Dark Horse, but for the life of me, I cannot understand why they put that in the song. So yeah, that's number 3. And number 4 from Asking Alexandria and their new album, See What's on the Inside.
Is that its
The
actual
song
name?
You've Made
I
It
don't know.
This Far.
What's its name?
The one single was going to make it Alone Again, but this song, having listened to it around 2 a.m. on college radio day,
I mean,
just kind of
well, me
stuck
and
with
your
me
dad
because
are
it's
friends
at least what I can take from the message of the
so
song
out
is
of
like,
ordinary, you know?
good job, you've made
Yeah.
it through
He's like
the hard stuff.
actually-
Congratulations, now
my
you're
best
here.
friend. Yeah.
And
We
that is
watch
song
the
number
game all
4.
the time.
So that being said, I will now pass the torch over to Emily.
Yeah. the
Hello.
gems.
I have received said torch now. I have
Emo.
4 awesome songs of the year that have not made it on your list, not surprisingly. So I will start with my 4th favorite song of 2021. It is called Girl in Blue by a band called Animal Sun. Their album Echoes of a Dream
heroin?
came out in
It's been-
June.
It's been selling a
And
lot recently,
I
so-
honestly am obsessed with the entire album. This is the first single
Well,
that I
it's- no,
found
it's
by
just
this
the art is
band,
always
and
very
I have not stopped listening to it since. I
Yeah,
just
like
really
December's a
enjoy
very
the
big
overall
heroin month.
vibes of this song, and that is why I chose it. My 3rd favorite track of this year is called Bottle Rocket by Briston Maroney. I honestly don't know too much by him, and that is a mistake because this song is so good that I'm going to go back and listen to everything that Briston Maroney has to offer. This song appeared on a countdown throughout the year that I constantly listened to with my parents, and it's one of those that they know I just absolutely fell in love with, and we sang it together, all that fun stuff. My 2nd favorite track of the year is called It's All Happening by Saint Motel. It came out on their 3rd edition of the original motion picture soundtrack that came out earlier this year. The
Are you
first
coming back? Kenny?
edition of this soundtrack came out around the beginning of quarantine. And so the entire journey of the release of this album that is composed of 3 smaller EPs has just stuck with me. And I listened to that as a daily soundtrack throughout my quarantine, and I still listen to them every day. And just as I was moving into school this semester, It's All Happening was a song that played on the radio very often and played in my household. So that's why it made it on my list of top songs. This was very difficult, but I am going to say that my absolute favorite song of this year is Space Ghost Coast to Coast by Glass Animals. It came out as a single earlier this year in May.
90.3
And again,
WMSC.
it's just one of those songs that has stuck with me. It doesn't sound like all the other songs that I would listen to. But Glass Animals definitely another one of those artists that I didn't discover during quarantine, but became obsessed with during then. And anyone in my household could hear it blasting through my door, even if they were across the house. And so Space Ghost Coast to Coast takes.
You're allowed to do that without getting yelled at?
Yeah, they'll just accept it because it's inevitable.
Lucky.
I'm so sorry. But yes, if you come to my house and there's music blasting, chances are it's Glass Animals.
And if you'd like to come to Emily's house, her address is.
No. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, so that's gonna have to wait for next week or something. I don't know. But
I'll spill it on Tabor time.
Oh goodness.
I believe that covers everyone, unless there's a fourth person I don't know about, which I don't believe there.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's 12 songs.
Yeah, that
12
would
days
go
of
above
Christmas,
12. You're
baby.
right. That being said, that is the 12 songs of Buzzmiss brought to you by music librarian Jared Talbert, Tunes on Tuesday segment host Emily McCormack, and Average Joe Kyle Pepitone.
Let's do the sportscast, newscast, and then let's just talk. Let's gab.
You are
I'm so
listening
sorry.
to
I'm
90.3
so
WMSC
sorry for
Upper
saying
Is that
we're
Ocarina
gonna
of
gab.
Time?
Where music stays.
That doesn't
That's
matter.
Zelda.
I'm
What?
so
I'm
sorry for
sorry.
saying we're gonna gab.
No,
Gonna
that was-
gab.
I
Your
said
inner-
gab. That's what I was apologizing for, not for that.
Your
No,
inner
I feel bad
outro.
about saying gab. I apologize. Anyway, sportscast.
Yeah,
Isaiah.
absolutely. Guys, the sports world is yet again electric, and we're gonna go to the NBA first. LeBron James will miss several games due to testing positive for COVID-19. The star took 3 tests and 2 came back positive. But if you know anything about LeBron James, is no lead is safe around him. He's gonna beat COVID. He's gonna come back down and dominate.
That
Now,
was fire, dude.
in the MLB, a lockout of Major League Baseball. Players appeared to have a lockout imminent for the MLB as negotiations lasted less than 3 minutes here. And, it's going to be a long time for the MLB, but now we're going to skip the MLB because baseball is baseball. We go to bigger things and better things like the MLS. Soccer. Who doesn't love soccer? The MLS Conference Finals. Shut your mouth.
No one asked.
The MLS Conference Finals are almost here as the Portland Timbers take on Real Salt Lake December 4th, and the Philadelphia Union take on New York City FC December 5th. The Eastern and Western Conference Finals this weekend. Stay tuned. Now, in NFL news, today is Thursday, which means week 13 of the NFL season is kicking off as the Cowboys will be taking on the Saints. And let's just be honest, both teams were absolute dog water in the month of November as both of them combined for 1 win. It was a rough time for both fans of the teams. And in good news, though, Adrian Peterson has signed with yet another team as he was released by the Titans earlier this year. He is now a member of the Seattle Seahawks. And now, finally, in NCAA football news, number 10 Oregon takes on number 17 Utah tomorrow night for the first Power 5 conference championship. And according to ESPN's Football Power Index, Utah has a 61% chance of winning. But let's be honest, what does ESPN know? You got to trust me, your homie Isaiah. He's going to tell you what's going to happen. The Ducks are going to look the Utah Utes in the eyes. They're going to say, not today. We're going to dominate. We're going to score more than you. And the score is going to be 35-23. And that is your sportscast.
Beautiful.
And now here's your news.
Isaiah, it's so nice that you're so multilingual. Because that was another language. Because I didn't understand a word you just said.
That was
but
genuinely one of the best sportscasts I've ever heard.
I did love
And
it.
that's- and this
I
is
love
his-
myself a good sportscast.
And this
Exactly.
is his first time being a sportscaster
Thank
for the
you.
show.
What?
No
You held my
way.
attention the entire
Yeah, he's the
time.
assistant, so I kind of just
couldn't
he's the
tell.
assistant, and I
know.
know he likes sports, so I just kind of gave it to him.
Go sports.
Wow.
Wait a
Lucky
minute.
guys,
That was
man.
fantastic, but I'll talk about that later.
fantastic.
Oh, we got the puns. We
Hey.
got him.
Lara's been promoted now.
No, Lara's fired.
Again.
This is the what the
Again.
the seventh time? Eighth
Probably,
time?
I think seventh, eighth,
fired
one of
Just
those.
find your way back into the studio every time.
Every time.
Yeah, right.
I gotta figure out how to revoke your ID.
Isn't that how
access.
college radio works? You get fired and then you find your way back in somehow.
That's kind of
Sounds about right.
what's been happening with her. I'm going to give my newscast real quick, and then we will get into what we're going to talk about. In national news, investigators reveal concerns about behavior of the Michigan high school shooting suspect leading up to the tragedy. The day before, 15-year-old Ethan Krembley allegedly opened fire on his classmates at Oxford High School. The student met with school personnel about some concerning behavior. Hours before the shooting Tuesday, Krembley and his parents had a meeting with school officials about a different issue. During Krembley's arraignment Wednesday, authorities said that they found 2 videos on his cell phone in which he took by pursuing those violent actions with students at the high school. Another piece of evidence investigators uncovered is a journal that was in Krembley's backpack that detailed his desire to shoot up the school, including murdering students. That is a quote from Lieutenant Tim Willis from the scene. In Montclair news, a Montclair Township as attorney has resigned and apologized for calling a black official three-fifths of a human being. In New Jersey, a Middlesex County woman was sentenced Wednesday to 6 years in prison for embezzling nearly $1.8 million from her employer in a fraudulent check scam over 5 years. Tammy L. Martinez wrote fraudulent checks payable to herself or cash by foregoing her boss's signature while she worked as an office manager and bookkeeper at a Newark company. And for the weather, because we can't forget that, expect a warmer day than usual today, which is not saying much, with a high of 56 and a low of 40. Don't expect to see the big yellow circle. What did you write for me?
Oh,
Keep reading.
no.
Keep going. Keep going.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
Oh,
Read
no.
it. Read.
Don't expect
Retaliation
the
from the
big
fire.
yellow circle in the sky today, as clouds are expected to be covering it all day long. The AQI is at a solid 58. Now consider yourself filled in on the news around the world and close to home. Big yellow circle? Seriously?
Listen, Kenny.
Try to fire her again, Genny.
I did.
You're incorrect.
Here's the thing, Kenny. In life, you have to enjoy. You only have a certain amount of rotations in
I
a giant rock in the sky. So you got to enjoy it.
You see, Kenneth, I would have called it a big yellow sphere.
Yeah.
That's true, actually.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
is true. That is 100% true.
Well,
I'm
actually,
basic,
let's
kinda
be honest.
Spherical.
None of us have really ever been close enough to know that it isn't a circle. Right now, it's
Oh.
just
The sun
we don't know
is-
if it's
the
a
earth
circle.
is flat.
No.
The sun
No.
Actually,
is
The
guys,
earth
it's
is
not a ball.
flat.
It's actually a
space
gas.
is
It's all
2D.
gas.
It's all gas. Gas doesn't have a shape.
Exactly.
That
Oh no.
I'm so confused, but I like it at the same time.
no, I don't like it. This isn't
This-
good.
This morning show needs a heel, and I will totally take. I will
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
it. All right.
You're gonna be the heel. Do you know what? We're
The
gonna
Earth
play.
is flat. Climate change isn't real. Olivia Rodrigo's bad. I'm the heel, right?
You just wow. I'm shocked that you said that.
I know. God.
Not the climate change thing. The
The
Olivia
Olivia
Rodrigo-
I think that one was the most shocking.
I know.
That was
of
the most
course.
shocking.
If anybody was listening in the first hour, that is not true. I totally don't believe that.
Frankie, I need to get your advice later on which part of Good For You I can do a TikTok to.
Okay. There's a few.
yeah.
There's a
There's
few.
quite a few little pieces there to work with. She's a good lyricist like T
Yeah.
Swift.
We'll talk about that not on air. You know, TikTok
that's
and,
later.
and
That's
morning
later.
radio don't mix very well.
Oh
right?
yeah. You know
But
what we have
Vine
great-
and morning
Or
radio.
do
we've-
they, Frankie?
Do you have the soundboard? Do you have something on the soundboard? I was excited.
We have enough. I could find something.
Yeah.
wow.
Oh no, our table! It's broken.
No, not the table.
I want that one in the system.
As the runner
to
of the
be.
sound effects, I refuse to put TikTok
Please.
sounds in there.
Thank you,
But,
Kenny.
but you put Vine sounds in.
Did I? I
It's-
don't know the. I don't.
Why you
remember
booing
Oh,
me? We're right.
I don't know.
We're
I mean,
You
right.
don't remember Vine, Kenny?
Yeah,
Not
Kenneth,
really. I didn't
come
really use
on.
Vine much.
Kenny.
All right, stop making fun
You're
of me. We're going to a
not-
song. We're going to a song.
Ooh.
This
Kenny,
song-
it's okay.
asshole.
I never used Vine ever.
I
I
have.
haven't.
It wasn't
I
good.
have
Come
never.
on.
I just watched compilations.
No.
This song is coming up. This one's called Click. It's by the band Click 5,
I love it.
and it's called Happy Birthday.
Annabella, I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know if you're watching this. I love you and I miss you. You're wonderful. And I'm so glad we were invited to come back for this wonderful Morning Buzz birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the Morning Buzz. I don't know why I said to you, because technically I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just
It's
talking.
someone's birthday today,
That's
along with the
That's-
morning buzzes.
that's
Somebody
true.
somewhere.
Thanks, Lara.
Anytime.
Where do
That was-
you hear?
that was
What,
pretty
what's the
insightful.
job I've given you? Just antagonize me?
Yes. Well, you did the same thing to me.
You always need that role.
But it's different when I
Exactly.
antagonize you. It's okay.
Oh, it's
I
not
don't
okay
like it
when
when
I
you
do
do
it.
it. No,
So
I don't
it's
like
okay
it
when a
you-
man does
that's-
it, but when a
Who
woman
does
does it,
it?
wow.
Whoa.
You know,
I won't go nowhere.
Isaiah,
no.
Isaiah, I was about 90% sure you would say that.
Yeah.
W baby, let's go.
Kenny is the numbers man, right? You're the math guy.
I'm
He
good
went,
at
ha
math.
ha ha.
I'm
Shut
good
up,
at
Frankie.
math. I
I'm
don't
never gonna
like
have you
it.
on my show again. Oh no.
Oh, no. Let's
Anyway.
no.
You and
Cleo.
Cleo.
I want that as a sound effect too.
Is it a
I
TikTok
actually have
sound
it here.
effect?
Wait, no,
Are you
I'm
being
kidding.
honest?
It's from H2O.
What's
From
H2O?
Inside
H2O.
water.
Water?
It is a great show.
One of
oh
the
my gosh, I
greatest
love it.
mermaid shows of our generation.
It was.
It
I
was so good.
would go to my grandparents' nursing home to watch it.
The conversation.
Yeah.
I grew up with a little sister, so all these things were definitely adamant in my life.
Yeah.
I
I'll see you
love
later.
it. H2O.
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 Sometimes I'm Australian, but like I speak in cursive whenever I do that. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I
Me
speak
too.
in
You
cursive
speak
whenever
in
I do that.
cursive.
We love this. We
I
love
make fun of
this.
her all the time for it, Juan. Don't worry about it.
I said the top of the hour in cursive. For my
What?
test.
Do it again.
Did you?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Oh,
I'm not
no,
gonna
you
do it.
didn't.
Yes, I did. Ask Kaya. She was there.
Is that? I'm not. I can't say that. I have a lot of
Whoa,
moments.
what can Kenny not say?
What can you-
here?
Oh no!
Kenny-
This one is an FCC.
Isaiah's
safe
the
one.
heel. Let's be honest here.
I have heel
Hmm.
tendencies.
It's Britney Spears' birthday.
I don't care.
Is it Britney Spears' birthday?
Yes,
Emily said it in the
Brit.
chat.
Not
Okay,
a
good.
single
Oh, did she?
person cares.
Phone's over here.
Wow.
Thank you.
I love it.
I
love it.
You know what?
That was-
Everything Britney's
That's
been
the
through.
only time that's gonna be applicable.
This
Yeah.
soundboard, I'll do anything for it.
Well,
Uh-huh.
all the stuff Britney's been through this year. Happy birthday, girl.
Happy-
Okay, do what?
She
Yeah,
deserves it.
fair enough. All right, I'll give you
Right.
that.
Deserves it.
Happy birthday, Britney Spears. But also, happy birthday, Morning Buzz. We're gonna talk about you. We're gonna talk about you all,
You.
everything that WMSC and being a part of our station.
Stop.
has
The letter
helped
after T and before V.
get. What did you just say?
The letter after T but before V. You.
Yeah, I've never heard.
You.
Yeah, sure.
Kenny, what happened to Soulja Boy?
Yeah, what happened? to him?
Soulja Boy.
It's
Soulja
not
Boy.
what
Starting
happened
a
to
video
Soulja
game
Boy.
company.
Yeah,
He did.
It's not what happened to Soulja Boy. It's whatever happened to Soulja Boy. I can't explain that story on air, but that's the inside
That's nice.
joke.
Mm.
Didn't he
After
get punched
hours
in the
show.
face or something like that? Didn't he get beat
Huh?
up by somebody else? That's a
Right,
good one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a good story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this doesn't help that it's radio. Anyway,
Ah!
I want to open up this discussion with all of you. So, the thing that I want to start with all is thank you. You all gave me a job, and you're going to be the reason that I get a job and career and all that, because this is like my main thing.
It's the
So
best
thank
feeling.
you. But I'm curious. I want to get back to where it all started. And one, I want to ask you. You created the morning show. What made you realize we need one, and what went into making it?
I think I realized we needed one when just me driving into campus my freshman year. Well, I wasn't even at WMSC my freshman year, but just me having this lingering thought in the back of my head. Wow, a lot of like the terrestrial radio shows are kind of not good, at least for us. At least for us. And I'm not going to go off and list any of them, but microwave's ready.
Nice.
Almost
that?
at studio looked at each other like, what just
For real.
happened?
But I think it just kind of I just realized that that's a different demographic than us, at least. And then when I got to WMSC after about a year or so there, I realized that, if you don't like something, do something yourself or do something that's better. And that's kind of where the Morning Buzz idea came out of, because it was always meant to be this informative, entertaining, music-centered show that, a lot of other morning shows have, but it's different because it's coming from our perspective. And I always saw it as a commuter aspect, because I always noticed that at the time we were on Live 365 only, we weren't on iHeart. So it's something you could hear, at least from my point. I could always hear WMSC on my phone driving into campus, but I couldn't hear it with the radius we have.
Yeah,
But
we
that's
have
okay.
just 1
yeah, I
watt,
think
not even 1 watt. We're close. I think
half a watt.
Or
think it was
half.
just
I
under
thought
a
it was
watt.
0.8. I mean, you're probably right. You're the former station manager. It makes sense. But half a
I have no
watt.
idea. It could be different. I mean, that was
Oh.
years ago, so I have no idea.
Thought it was
But-
0.6
but-
something.
0.6.
Annabelle Poland, come to the rescue, please.
Please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Actually,
what's
just
our-
look behind you.
20,000.
She's right behind you.
Imagine.
No, look behind you. You could probably tell the point.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh no, it's a horror movie. Annabella, right there. Spooked.
But whatever. Regardless,
Sorry about the.
I kind of wanted to start
I'm
it
not typing
because
it.
I just wanted something, for students by students. And
Yeah.
this was kind of like the format I chose to go with.
Yeah. When
0.86, guys.
I was pretty close.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
When
Good job.
I'm asked about the show and what it is, the way I always describe it is a news and entertainment show. Wait. Oh, I thought that was Annabella saying something. I was upset.
No, I said spook.
I'd say that it is a news and entertainment show that gives a college student's opinions about what's going on around the world. What would
Yeah,
you
I would-
say
I-
about your original goal of the show? How does that go along with it?
I think
Have I done a
think-
good job, Juan?
Yeah, from what I've heard, yeah, you have. So kudos to
Score,
you and
I win.
everyone that came before you. But I think that was originally the general thought for the program. I mean, it's something for students by students. It gives you a perspective on everything going on around the world, keeping it local, and then in the Montclair, General Clifton area, but then also in campus. So it was always something to be informative. It was always something to give students something to want to listen to on campus, specifically them, not necessarily outside of that. Although people outside of campus can listen and have an opinion, have a thought about it, but that was always my main goal, like get people on campus listening. But yeah, I think that lays on. It's informative, it's entertaining, and it's just a good listen.
So I want to ask all of you, I guess I should say, where has WMSC taken you?
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Well, first,
Now I won't need to ask any more questions. I can basically just turn off my mic at this point, and you
We've
can-
got
just
38
get out of it.
minutes.
all the
Oh, yeah.
programming is scheduled for the day. Just go. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
well, Juan, when I first met you, it was my sophomore year. I wasn't in radio freshman year either. I was in just one club, one organization, kind of wanted to focus on school because I had never gotten straight A's in my life. So I was like, I need to just, nose to the grindstone. And finally, when I was ready to branch out, you were there. You were the first person one of the first people I met, at least in the office back, in the old building.
Yeah, back
And
in
Schmidt Hall, that was it. That was I forgot the name earlier. I was trying to tell Lara, I was trying to tell everybody here, like, yeah, that's where we were. And then we moved and school was built when, we were like juniors, Frankie and I. And I didn't know anything. I just walked right into the office and I said, so I kind of want to talk. I want to be on air or something like that. And then they're like, okay, join the news team. And that's when I just became a news contributor. Latea and Sammy at the time. I didn't know what I was doing. That's when they brought up the buzz. And they said, okay, so you're on this day. This is how you write something and you're on in like 2 days.
That's exactly what we do still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I did that to Lara.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I had 2 weeks.
The Shark Tank, man. You just
I had,
got
yeah, I
exposed.
only
throw
had,
them right in.
I only had
Yeah,
2 days. She threw me right in with newscasts. I never wrote a newscast in my life. She threw me in with stories too. And I remember, of course, the very first show. I had Heather Rivera, Sean McChesney, and you were the board up, Juan. And
I was always the board up.
Yep. And
Always the board up.
I walked in there and, I
Fun.
made like one mistake with one story, but ultimately it was the most fun I had ever had. Being behind the mic was just like, okay, good. I can talk and I get to learn and make scripts for the first time. Never written a script in my life. Decided that I wanted to be communication and media arts instead of communication studies. And that was because of the buzz. From there, when the new School of Common Media was built, it was just a whole new world of equipment that I've never seen before and huge grand opening. Then the buzz got bigger and bigger, more newscasters, more things. And then I was news director at the time, but I was always thinking back to you, Juan, honestly, about those first days and thinking, okay, well, now there's other people coming in and they're going to have their first days. So
but then they go to think to you.
That was
and so forth.
that was the tricky thing, because I was still looking to you, and like I was, even though like you had graduated, but I was still looking to all these other people, because I said, oh, like I don't know what to do. And then it was even scarier when station manager hit me, because I was thinking, I want to be just like Juan, because everybody in the school, and I want to let you know,
Legend. Juan's a
Yes.
legend.
Juan is a legend. Like,
Absolute legend.
I didn't even major in that school.
My
that is
guy.
also true.
We were talking about it earlier, and it's like, it's so funny because like sometimes when Annabella like knows that somebody's coming back, like an alumni is coming back, like she'll go to like the students and be like, hey, like this person's coming or that person's coming, like make sure you talk to them, make sure you like establish like a relationship or like this, that, and the other thing. Like she's always looking out for her students. And I remember the first time I met Juan, because I didn't get into radio until my junior year, and so that by that point you had already graduated.
Yeah,
And
you were my first news meeting, Frankie.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Frankie's here.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. I probably should have gotten into WMSC much earlier, but you know, it is what it is. You do whatever you got to do. But the first time that Juan was coming into the studio or like coming to the school or whatever to come say hi, Annabella was like, okay, Juan's coming. And I was like, I don't remember what the details were, but it was like, yo, this dude's a big deal. Like this dude's like massive.
No, it wasn't. It was like, who the heck is this guy?
No, sir, man. Least for me,
No.
I can only speak for me. I was like, man, I'm gonna be starstruck. This dude must be cool, like cool as heck. Like I'm so excited to meet him. And then you were super dope, and it was just awesome. Like it was just like, oh, all right, cool. He's a
Maybe
cool guy.
something you don't know in this school was that all the professors would say, if you want to be like Juan, don't say no to
Yeah.
anything. And they would
That is
always,
that,
they would always compare you to, like, in a positive way, to us, to give us advice on how we could have careers.
Yeah.
And they would always refer back to you, and for good reason. Like, you have no idea what this show did for my self-confidence and helped me wake up in the morning a lot of times. And I just want to, like, I'm not going to get too deep, but my sophomore year was something that I would not have survived without, WMSC, especially the morning buzz. This was my outlet. This was my creativity outlet, because dance was a high school thing, same with singing and being an instrumentalist. It all became the morning buzz, and that's all because of you.
I need to ask. I believe these are all true, but why is Juan a legend?
Because Juan never
I'm
said
years
no.
behind. I don't understand.
So basically, the
What-
reason is
what are the stories? Hit
he
me.
never said no to anything. If a professor said, oh, hey, Juan, we have to do this broadcast for the whole university to hear, he's like, sure, when are we doing it? And that was with any professor in the school. So lots of students, not all the time, but there's a certain fear that goes behind certain things. And I'm sure like anything I did, I was like nervous to do. But the biggest thing was he never said no. And because he didn't say no, everything he did came to fruition and it went well. And people were looking at that and they're like, this is awesome. Specific examples I don't have, so Juan, go for it. I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's one advice that when everyone asks me, like, oh, what's a piece of advice that you can give anybody? It's don't be afraid of taking opportunities, even if they sound too good to be true. Because if I had that mindset of being afraid or being nervous, then I probably wouldn't have done half the stuff that I did at my time in Montclair. And it wasn't just at WMSC, it was within the School of Communication and Media. It was, hosting, election night coverage on actual TV, or
News
I guess
Lab.
video.
News Live?
Wasn't News Lab? I think it was
Yeah.
right before. I think it led right before News.
It was right before News
News
Lab, because
I don't think
I
News Lab was a
remember-
thing yet, but
Oh,
it was
dude.
the basis of what it was founded on. But also Morning Buzz. I mean, again, I took that head on. I was like, this is going to be my outlet for me to, get more confident in my presentation, more
Mhm.
confident as a producer, more confident as a booker, things like that. So I kind of just used it as an outlet for myself, but I also encouraged everybody because I wasn't the only producer. I had a team of producers that I always went to, and I said, don't worry about what I do your own thing, and then make it your own, and just do it. Don't be afraid to change. I would always get texts and messages from our producers, like Kate mentioned. I think Kate yourself too. You also came to me a couple of times and asked me, "Is it okay if I do this?" Absolutely.
Yeah, I did, because I said, I don't want to mess this up.
No, but like that's the thing. Like I always wanted to make sure everyone knew every show is different. Every group of people is different. No show has the same group of people. I mean, sometimes yes, they do, but also like make it your own, change it, because we don't learn unless we do things differently.
So it's good to mess up things in a certain way. Not
absolutely.
I've
messed up so
it up
many
in your own
times
way.
in my life.
Yeah.
So many times. And what you did though from the Morning Buzz, it went to the TV, back what I was saying with the equipment. When we did election night coverage, I was a roaming reporter when I was a junior. And then as a senior, it's like I got to anchor special like broadcasts. So the whole school came together, and the Montclarian and WMSC and News Lab and all of that, like that gave me an opportunity to physically like be on camera anchoring things. Frankie did that too. And then we both were like, Frankie's still at ABC. I interned at Fox, and then I went to ABC and worked with Frankie for a while. And now I'm actually going to be hosting the Camden Film Festival at the end of the month.
Nice,
and
cool.
It all stemmed from what you created here, Juan.
Yeah, dude. Like we wouldn't be here sitting on this show right now talking about how we got to where we are because of WMSC and Morning Buzz if you hadn't had that idea in the first place, right?
Thanks for the job.
But Frankie,
Kenny, that's very funny.
Listen, like you guys did that on your own.
When I was station manager, it was funny because that was the first year, Frankie, that we ever had a Morning Buzz producer. It was normally the job of the news director and Annabella, of course, and station manager, kind of coordinating everything. What was that like for you, Frankie? Like being, oh my gosh, I'm the first guy.
Yeah, it was nice taking off some of the weight of like the news director and like the station manager and stuff like that, because like it's a job. It's more like I don't know.
It's more than what it seems.
It's definitely more than what it seems, which is super cool. So like knowing that, see Kenny, I know.
Got an hour of sleep last night. Yeah.
Nice.
Nuts, dude.
You
Trying to get like
yeah, pretty much.
I think my favorite part of being Morning Buzz director was like seeing the chemistry between all the teams. Like I remember so my trajectory at WMSC was junior year, I was a news contributor, and then I became Morning Buzz host, and then I took the DJ test. What's it? The ADJ program, right?
Lara took hers like 2 days ago.
Nice.
Hey,
shout out, Lara. Woo! But yeah, and then I had my own radio show, and then I was Morning Buzz producer. So like learning the ins and outs of WMSC was super cool. And then I think my favorite part as Morning Buzz producer was seeing the chemistry between all the people. And like if you're there for a year and a half, you know all the people around you, you know who your friends are. Basically WMSC is like one big family. At least it was when I was there. And you just know who's who, and you know who meshes with who, and like who's vibing and who's going to be funny versus who's going to be serious. Like I remember my Morning Buzz was me, Molly Jenkins, Javier Reyes, and Jack Bartek.
Oh, miss them all.
Love the crew. Shout out to them if they're listening. They're probably not listening.
I don't know how much you know since you graduated, but Jack Bartek is our sports director.
I do know Jack Bartek, sports director. I saw you guys post about him the other day, but Jack Bartek was our sports contributor on my Morning Buzz 3 years ago, which was awesome. And like we were just like such a fun group. Like I was throwing jokes out there. Molly was like, Frankie, shut up. Javier was like, haha, I'm gonna send some jokes too. Molly was like, Javier, shut up. And like sorry guys.
Kenny says to me.
Oh no. All right, sorry. I live in the basement. I'm right next to the boiler room. It just screamed. I apologize.
Nice.
Wait, so when you were talking there, you weren't talking to anyone, you were just talking to the boiler?
Oh yeah, no, I was definitely talking to the boiler. Yeah.
Okay,
no,
nice.
There's a ghost down here. I have conversations with him. It's pretty cool.
They call me the ghost of Kenny when I'm producing in the back. Everybody. Isaiah said it one time, it became a thing for everybody.
Oh no. So the ghost doesn't have a name, by the way. So I'm gonna name him Kenny. That's gonna be it. Yeah. After you got it. You heard it here first on the 7th birthday of the Morning. On the 7th birthday of the Morning Buzz, we just named the ghost in Frankie's basement. All right. Where was I? Oh yeah, but it was just like cool chemistry between our group, and I know I tried my best to like put groups together that like were super like super fun on the air, and I listened into the shows every week, and I was like working with the teams and making sure that things got on their feed, and appropriate things were said on air, inappropriate things were said off air. You know how radio goes.
Yeah,
right.
and one of the things for me that you helped me with, Frankie, was because I was one of the very few conservative voices here, and you knew that.
Yeah.
And you helped me kind of embrace that.
Yeah.
And you didn't make me be somebody I wasn't.
Well, that's fair.
And that was something that was scary.
Oh, it's hard. It's always hard.
I'm shaking right now talking about it because I'm like, that was just, really difficult to do. But when you said every show was different, that was, so I appreciated that so much.
Yeah.
But it's something, the both of you, that I admire a lot is knowing how to switch on a whim. Like if something was going wrong, last second, you both were like, okay, we're doing this instead, and go, we're on. And it went off without a hitch most of the time.
Yeah, if you want to be in this area of work, if you want to be in this world, this communications, and especially radio, you need to know how to pivot 180 like on a dime, dude. Like if you don't, like you have no shot, right? Like things can go wrong at any point, at work, and you have to figure out how to do it. And college radio was a great time to learn how to deal with like those fast-paced changes.
Yeah, college radio and the Morning Buzz really are the reason why all of you are where you are now. Where are you now? Tell me about the present.
Well, so me personally, I'm at ABC News Radio in Manhattan. So it was great. Senior year of college, they introduced the mentorship program. I don't know if I think they still have it.
We still have that.
Yeah.
I was a mentor for a hot minute.
Our station manager, Kaya Masiak, and programming director, Nate Williams, are both in that program.
I love Kaya and Nate. They're wonderful. But yeah, so I was one of the guinea pigs, the first test subjects of that program. And my mentor was Montclair State University alumni, Al Prieto.
Al Prieto.
I love Al Prieto.
I miss him.
Yeah. He's the vice president of ABC News 1. And he lives like 2 blocks from campus, which is absolutely wild. Shout out to Al. I miss you, and I haven't seen you in a very long time, but you're the man. So he would come, we'd meet like twice a month, a little bit, depending on whatever our schedules were. And he would come in and we'd talk about, resume stuff, and we'd talk about like how to work in the real world and what I actually wanted to do after college. And it was super helpful. And he was a very good mentor to me. And I, when it was time to graduate, like I was like, hey, Al, like, what do you think? Like, how do you think the job search is going to go? And he was like, dude, you got to put it. He didn't say this. This is definitely not verbatim from Al Prieto, but he was like, dude, you got to send your application like as many places as you can. He was like, just put your feelers out everywhere. Try to get something in your field. And if not, like everything that adds to your resume is important, whether or not. I worked at Home Depot sophomore year of high school for the whole year. And like, he was like, that can help with your resume, even if you want to go into radio. Like every little thing that you put on your resume that's, shows that you have character outside of communications makes you a better candidate, because people see that you're not just one note. And I put in my application to ABC Radio. I put in my application to a bunch of different places. And I've always been a person who I know how to talk, and I think I know how to like read people. I'm a little charismatic for who I am.
That's why we get along so good, Frankie.
Yeah. I've always said that my resume is always the part that I'm worried about, but if I get to an interview, I have it in the bag. So like I like sent in my thing to a bunch of different places, and I finally got the interview at ABC Radio.
Is that the
and
ghost?
I was like, sweet, I got it. Yeah, it's probably, I think it's the ghost. My basement makes so much noise. I apologize.
In a second.
So I got the interview. I went into the city and I talked to the hiring manager. We talked about work for like 5-10 minutes, and then we like just kind of talked about the news and a bunch of stuff. It was just a conversation for like the next like 45 minutes. It was awesome. And I knew I had the job in the bag. And
I was in that Crete mission though, because I'm not like, I remember I was working like at the desk, like a few doors away from your interview.
Yeah,
because I
Kate,
was there already, but
Kate had gotten hired a month before I had, so I knew that she was there, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I went to the interview, and then I got the call that I got the job, and I was super excited. And I had somebody there who I had known that I was, I've already worked with before, that I was working with now, and I've been there for 2.5 years now, which is absolutely crazy.
congratulations too, man. Like,
Thank you. Yeah.
for me,
absolutely.
it was all because of Annabella.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
She's the reason that we're all
she is the
here.
reason.
She's
Yes,
the reason
I
we're all
say
here.
that a couple times a week.
exactly. Like,
I got that
and-
tattooed on my bicep, actually.
When-
Annabella's the reason I'm here.
Because of Annabella.
I heart Annabella.
When I got getting that call, I'm never gonna forget that day. And I was at ABC for about 1.5 years. And then I just had a lot of personal things going on in my life. I missed my family, from South Jersey. So up here, and things were rough. And it was also right in the middle of when COVID, before the vaccine was even a thing. And I did end up going home. But right now, I have nothing but nice things to say about my time there. Working with you, Frankie, working with everybody. I miss them all so much. And it's more so now, I think, that I'm going to kind of create my own thing, whatever that is. I've always been kind of not the most confident person in the world. But hey, Juan created the morning buzz. Like, I can create, I do YouTube. I do other things. I want to start a podcast because of WMSC. And I just kind of want to create my own thing. So it's more so that this place made me, and you guys made me, and any work I did, it all contributes. And that's kind of where I am now, is trying to make my area, give them media, because my area doesn't have too much. I mean, South Jersey, Philly's great. But especially in the Camden area, having a film festival there is huge and it's financially going to help the community a lot. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, I would say.
Juan, the legend, where are you?
So after graduating, I went over to NBC Universal in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey. I was actually with a lot of Montclair and WMSC alum there, so it was really nice to walk in there with a lot of faces you already know in similar roles as you, and it kind of made the transition from post-grad to, to work life, adult life, a little better. It made it a lot more comfortable. You kind of weren't in there with a bunch of people you never met. And there were also some Montclair alumni from previous years that I also knew. So it just made the transition a lot easier for me. I worked there for distribution for TV on demand content. I worked there up until when I moved over to Stitcher podcasting.
Sick.
That's awesome. I moved it. Yeah. I'm there. It's kind of weird because we're under this weird umbrella where we're SiriusXM Pandora, but then we're Stitcher, but then we're also Earwolf. So I work there with a bunch of with their podcast studio, working on getting a bunch of comedy-based podcasts from the Earwolf out, and it's really cool. I mean, I've always loved this. I always told Annabella that I wanted to not do podcasting necessarily, but do storytelling, and that's kind of where my whole basis around my time at WMSC was. I wanted to create compelling content for people to intake, whether it was visual, audio, or written. And now, thankfully, I have that opportunity to do so with Earwolf and Stitcher because I'm here working with a bunch of talented producers, talented hosts that all they want to do is make people laugh and give people a good time. And that was their overall goal last year during the pandemic, and still now was get people away from everything that's going on around the world and give us something that they'll enjoy and laugh to. So I kind of got lucky and found the best of a lot of the things I like, because I work on production, and then I also work on distribution. So I'm kind of sitting there in the recording sessions, like Zoom, just like us right now. As a podcast is getting recorded, I'm taking notes. I'm working on production for post work, pre meeting work. So I love it. And again, none of it would have been possible without my time at WMSC and the Morning Buzz, because in my other jobs too, I also took skills from Morning Buzz and WMSC and applied them there, because I think you guys referenced earlier, you work with a lot of different types of characters. You work with a lot of different types of people. And especially, at least in the beginning of the Morning Buzz, I kind of had to figure out what personalities would mesh well and which ones wouldn't. And you kind of had to take a leap of faith with some people. Be like, hey, would you guys want to jump on together? I know you two have never spoken together or ever had a conversation. How does radio
then magic
sound?
happens.
And then yeah, exactly.
Sometimes magic will just happen. You're like, oh my God.
True.
And they like become best friends.
That
Like,
happened.
oh,
with,
wow, crazy.
Happened with Isaiah this semester. The moment that I knew I
Exactly.
succeeded is when I saw him and his co-host hanging out after the
Nice.
show. Like,
Hey,
as
shout out
on
to you,
campus.
Crystal.
Yeah, shout out, Crystal.
Shout out.
But I want
But that's
to.
just it. Yeah, that's just
Sorry,
it. You learn to work with different people, and then you bring that into the world. You bring that into the real world. And I did that at all my jobs and doing it now.
Yeah, the thing I want to mention, I don't know if I properly addressed this, but Isaiah is actually the assistant producer of the Morning Buzz, and that's a role that I
Hey.
don't think existed when any of you were here. That was made spring of 2020. The first one was Ryan Trick.
Oh,
Nice.
Ryan, love him.
Yeah, he was here Monday, and
Nice.
he was great as usual. And I want to ask, I graduate in, I guess, 18 days from now. What advice do you all have for
Wow.
Isaiah?
I'm sorry, what? 18
Whoa.
days? Oh,
18
so
days.
you're not doing the spring semester.
No.
Oh, wow.
What
Jeez.
advice do you all have for Isaiah as he steps up and takes the role?
Dude, do what Juan would. What would Juan do? Don't
Oh,
say no.
Do
Don't
what
say no.
Isaiah do what Isaiah would do.
Do what
Right,
Isaiah
yeah.
would do.
You
Yes.
you have to be confident in what you're doing. You
Absolutely.
need to talk to Annabella as much as you can, because the problems that you have, if you can't iron them out yourself, she will help you, because that's her whole thing. Like,
Don't be embarrassed
Yeah,
to ask
that's-
for help. Do
and
not
don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's not
And
help.
speaking of Annabella Poland,
No way. No way.
Oh,
No way.
Here.
Oh my gosh! I'm getting hot.
she made it. Come on over.
You
Say
made
hi.
it just in time.
Nothing like getting caught in bad traffic in New Jersey, isn't it?
Oh, I love
Woo!
it.
It's just
Bad traffic in New Jersey.
It's actually
perfect
nice out.
timing.
I thought it was like yesterday.
It was awful.
Mhm.
Doing more.
Juan!
Hey.
Oh my gosh. So good to see you guys. Okay, I cannot hear you. I want you to know that.
Understandable.
anyway.
Understandable.
But it's so good
Headphones.
to see you, and so good to see you doing so well. And what you're doing, Juan, I'm so glad that you're a stitcher. I know it's like a combo. I think Sirius XM is set up to take over the world. Watch
Yeah,
out, everybody.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Wow, this is very loud, everybody.
I had it for both.
After
Here we go.
this week, yeah, they are.
After this week, yeah. So I love that you're in my old home of Sirius XM, because everybody here, nice benefits. So I have to say about that.
I second that.
I mean, I would say, Frankie, you get that silver card.
You're right. You're right. I am a Disney boy. I am
You're-
owned by Mickey Mouse himself.
And-
Love him.
And that's a great benefit, right? Especially because
100%.
you get to use it. I think I went once or twice to it.
I love Disney.
Um,
I love
and
Disney
I was
so
like,
much.
"Oh." So of course, I think that one of the things I'm sure you experienced this too. I remember my first job out of college was also ABC,
Mm-hmm.
and I
And then
remember
GMA and
yeah,
everything.
and you would see the Disney logo come up on a movie.
Yep.
You're like, my people. Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time. Every time I open up Disney Plus,
You
I'm like, that's it.
Okay, so like really weird question and on the spot, but like, do you get Disney Plus for free as a perk?
So
You
actually,
didn't.
it's
No.
well, so
No.
you can either get the Disney Plus bundle with
Yeah.
Hulu and ESPN Plus, or you get to go free to the Disney parks.
And of course,
Give me
you
the
were gonna go to
There's
Disney.
there's
I
no
mean,
debate there.
170
So-
bucks for a ticket versus like,
Financially, the
Yeah.
Disney parks tickets make sense because I don't mind
100%.
paying $7 a month for Disney Plus. That's fine.
yeah.
But there's some older people that don't go to the parks in my office that are like, I don't understand why you guys get the Disney tickets. Why don't you just get
It's
Disney
so
Plus for free? I
great.
go, because I'm hopping on a red-eye plane to Florida for a long weekend because I'm gonna go have some churros and Mickey pretzels. Don't
And
start
some
with me,
Star Wars,
Deborah.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
And I know, Juan, you did my podcasting class on that first semester. I taught that class, not just being on radio, but just, being part of that first design of the course, which was very different than what it is today. How does that help you as you are helping producers put stuff together?
It absolutely helped because let me tell you, a lot of producers sometimes go on the fly and you kind of have to have a very open mind when it comes to that. And to this day, I remember last night I was sitting on a session for a show that I'm gonna put out right after I get off this call. And
We're holding this up, y'all.
no, it's not supposed to go out till 9 Eastern, so that's not till noon.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, having open-minded listening to a lot of podcasts helped a lot. And I think that's the one thing that I think the first class we ever had, you said, like, if you want to work in podcasting, listen to podcasts. And you'd be surprised how many people
Who would have thought?
who would have thought?
no, but you'd be surprised how many people do not listen to any. And unfortunately for me, I work with a bunch of podcast nerds, so that's okay. But it just goes to show you that just listen to anything. Listen to a broad variety of things. Last night, I listened to a show that I never heard for the first time ever, and I listened to 6 episodes of it as I was like
What was
finishing up work.
What's this?
The show's called Threedom. It's with Threedom. It's 3 comedians. They're all like TV actors, but they all, they're all friends. They host a comedic podcast. They have a very dedicated listener audience, and they also make questions, games, and stuff for them to play. And they're just improv comedians that I never would have listened to if it weren't for just, me taking a recommendation from somebody. Just as good, like, not white noise, but stuff to listen to in the background, pay attention to, have a good laugh, stuff like that.
No, I think like we didn't even talk about the rap podcast. Some people didn't even get it because they don't listen. And I was like, what? But yeah.
I'll say so. Working on media download definitely helped a lot.
Okay. So media download, for anyone who's listening, was the first attempt to do a podcast class, which was hosted by the director of the School of Communication and Media then, Merrill Brown. Yeah. And he would bring on a lot of really cool guests, to be honest, right? Like we had the CEO of Netflix and a number of really big media people. And that was the podcast that we had to edit in class.
Yeah, so I had an interview. We had an interview that we had to do for another show. And the producer got COVID. So I had to act as the assistant and do all the research beforehand. But then I remember going back into those days. I think I even found my notebook from back in that day when in that class when we recorded stuff. And I went off, notes that I took then. So that was I guess my first time kind of doing my research for a guest that I actually have no idea who the heck they were.
Right.
On like a 2-hour notice. And that was generous, 2 hours.
This continues to be a good training ground. You won't be surprised to hear, because Juan, I put you through those tests kind of often. But we were doing the Latin Alternative Music Conference, and you and I have worked together through that because you speak like the 2 languages that we need to speak when we go there, right? And this year, it was again virtual, and we were given a 5-minute notice to talk to Artist of the Month, this great Cuban artist called Sima Funk, rep by John Riley, someone you intern with.
Hey,
and when John says jump, you say how high. So I had Anandaji Cruz Rosario, who is our news director, and she was being part of the LAMC. And I said, we're doing this interview. And she's like, when? In 5 minutes. It was not even a research document.
Don't even breathe.
So she ran to the studio, opened her laptop. We opened up a Google Doc, and I was her brain. I was like just dropping. I was like, she's live with this artist who's fantastic, by the way. And I was dropping bio, info on the album, single, like, and she was picking that up. And like, sometimes that's what it takes, right? Just to be able to rock and roll through something like that without looking like a deer in headlights.
And Annabelle and I have done that millions of times where she's on a Google Doc and she's just like, this is information. Take it, run with it. Spit it out. I don't know.
Knowledge is power, and
What is
Annabella's
it?
got a lot of it.
It was like, what was a text? What's the morning bus without a text from me, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so true. It was Frankie put, what's a text without?
Yeah, I think
What's
it was
morning bus
Juan.
without text from
It is
AP?
true.
I was like, oh my God. I know AP more as Annabella Poland than I do Associated Press. Like, I mean, come on.
You hear
She
that,
is-
Associated Press?
She is the only
Heather-
press I'm associated with.
Heather Rivera and I always referred to her as AP. It was like Associated Press, Annabelle Poland. The two going hand in hand.
100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I am so thankful that you guys took time out of your busy day to be with us on this very special day. We'll never forget the first birthday of the Buzz when we had cake in the old office and everybody showed up, and it was kind of like a big bus, like a super buzz, as you guys call it now.
We're doing that on the 17th, final show of the semester.
All right, so y'all invited
Wow.
back if you want to
You are.
just come in and just be like, yeah, it's holiday season, even though we work in media and that doesn't apply. Woo, yeah.
Yeah, let me look at my schedule and we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, you see.
Actually, I get my first holidays off now, thankfully, because of SiriusXM.
That's the vibe.
That's
dude.
right.
There you
Maybe you can come
go.
into the studio.
We're working towards that.
Hey, why
We're
not?
on
working
vacation.
towards
We'll figure it
that.
out.
Hey, it's not like I'm doing anything. I can just drive up.
But the week leading up to Christmas is going to be a nightmare for me. I'm gonna be
Brutal.
backloading up. It's going to be brutal, but I'm going to enjoy the last.
Olivia Rodrigo reference.
Oh my gosh.
Woo, baby.
That's a great song. I'm surprised that didn't make my list because I did play that quite a bit.
Annabelle, I don't know if you were listening during our Spotify rap
Of
thing.
course, I'm
but-
listening all the time.
always.
Mom ears.
It could be 11 at midnight. It could be 11 or midnight. She's listening.
Listen,
Those levels are a little high.
Yeah, my
if you
kid
wanna-
is like, how come you only have less than, I have like 6,900 listens. It's like, because I'm always listening to my radio station. What else do you think I'm listening to? Like,
Oh,
I can only have so many minutes in a day.
I remember when I was applying to become the Morning Buzz producer, I was told by the producer at the time, Annabelle's gonna know who you are. I'm like, I've never talked to her. She goes, she is always listening.
That's when I met you at a meeting.
I remember actually being this. I've never actually told you this.
Oh,
You
God.
were on
Ooh.
a conference during the time we were doing my interview,
Mm.
and I remember being very happy you were because I was scared to talk to you.
So I put my de facto student managers to interview you.
It worked out.
He's like,
There you
yeah,
go. He's here.
But it's funny, you guys, because anyone who's listening and you guys who have come into WMSC this year, your name, it's mentioned by your peers, right? So I will hear that name often, and then it starts to stick, right? And then you don't have to be in the student management team for me to know who you are. I just get to see who shows up. And Emily, who was part of that Wrapped music team version, she's one of those members. She's a sophomore, but I have seen and heard of Emily so much. I'm like, I have no doubt that Emily will be part of the student management team.
Yeah.
Same with Lara, right? Like, and Isaiah before he became part of the student manager group. So it's just how much you invest in it, like everything else in life. You get out of it what you put into it. And you guys are examples of that, going out into the world and making us all proud.
I think I went a month and then I met you when I first started.
Emily, her name. There she is. Come in. I mean, I
Whenever
said
we
Emily
say
and
somebody's
she
name,
showed
they
up.
show
It's kind
up.
of like
That's
Beetlejuice,
so
you guys.
funny.
Come in, Emily. You have to be on camera somewhere. See, I mentioned Emily and she's here. It's kind of like me. When people mention me, I'm like, I'm here.
That's exactly what happened before. We had said your name, and Kenny was like, "And here she is." And I was like, "Oh wow, jeez."
Second time's a charm.
Yeah, so it's funny because we had an interview with University President Jonathan Capel last, on Monday.
November 3rd.
No, on Monday.
Oh, I thought
Yeah, the second one.
Okay.
And the man had met me once. And so he starts talking to Kaya about the show he's going to do with Kenny, that it has vinyl music and whatever. And he mentions my name and I show up and he's like, she just, materialized when I made her. I was like, yep, that's what happens.
Apparated.
I did.
Oh no.
Emily,
Harry Potter
I mean-
references.
Oh
Love it.
no, and
Always.
Isaiah is lost. Everybody, Juan, Isaiah is not a Harry Potter fan.
Oh.
Isaiah, I think we need to eject that whole seat out of the studio.
That really confirmed the time where Annabelle is literally everywhere, though. As soon as I said I don't like Harry Potter, she storms into the studio.
She'll
and the
run
friends
into the
Harry
room.
Potter.
That's
Very
so
excited.
good.
Guys,
She's there.
very excited
She's on
about the
this side.
reunion on January 1st. I'm looking forward to the Harry Potter reunion. That's
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Right now, there's the Triwizard Tournament. It's like a. Anyway, we don't have to get into Harry Potter stuff right now. We'll talk about it
yes,
later.
you
But
play this, of course.
oh, so exciting.
And you know, I'm just glad I have a full house. You know, I'm thankful that you guys are here, but I'm also thankful that we're fully in person right here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
You know, that's right.
Yeah, right on the money.
Overdrive.
Right on the money.
Oh my
you have to get
gosh.
you have to get those in, right? Thank you, FCC. We're submitting our renewal, and everyone who's listening. Yes, we are. We intend on renewing our license. Thank you. If you have any complaints, you can email me or self-tweet me. So what is this? Hey, tweet me. Will you guys do this?
Ryan Trick. Ryan Trick says that he was so upset he didn't get
Hit
to
me,
say it
tweet
Monday.
me
He
when you want
forgot.
to reach me.
Hate tweet me.
What's that?
Hate
Call
tweet
me, beat me if you
Call
want.
me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Oh,
That's what I
my
meant.
Or you can
retweet
write.
me. No, yeah. So this is a great space for students. I do hope that the FCC, as much fun as we have with having the FCC personify in Dungeons and Dragons games and people
love it.
casting spells and all of these things, and then the FCC coming in to us for dead air on our musical. I think that you know, we look forward to our guidance, to your guidance, and we're coming for renewal. Yay!
Woo! WMC is one of the greatest places
You
on
have a
earth.
sound effect? He has a sound effect. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
you
Of
should
course
have
he
play
does.
as I was doing this.
Woo! Ric
Yeah.
Flair,
You
baby.
missed what I did on Sad Boy Hours.
Oh,
I played
yeah.
all of
Oh
these.
my
No,
god.
no, my favorite sound effect is the point.
Me too.
Can you do
Boink,
that?
boink.
That's one.
That's what we were missing when I was here. It was the sound effects.
Oh,
That's
man.
like that's
Morning
kind of
Dawn.
like, yeah, when someone mess up, boink.
I've been meaning to do this for 2 weeks now. I keep on forgetting. Good morning. You're listening to the morning.
Oh, good. Oh,
All right, well, we have
good.
to get Frankie to work and Juan to
I gotta
the
run.
podcast. You guys, it's so nice to see you.
So nice to
let's
see
hope
you.
that
It's so good to see you all.
Omicron and whatever else is coming later on after that, however many letters of the alphabet, will not stop this ability to get together and get to see you guys in person. So happy holidays. Hopefully I see you on the 17th. And if I don't, I hope we'll see you soon.
Fingers crossed.
Love you guys so much.
Love you
Thanks.
guys very much.
And Kenny, thanks for having us on. That means the world, really.
Kenny, you're a king, my
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, there he
And
is.
congrats on the graduation.
I was about to
Yes,
say,
oh, yeah,
I'm
congrats
texting, I was
on-
like, can I clap for myself if I do that?
Clap for yourself, Kenny.
Kenny, do it. Kenny, clap.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for the Morning Buzz, the 7th birthday edition here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I was informed last night that the show has a sort of a theme song. I only found this out recently. We're going to play out on that theme song. This is Sad
Love
Machine
it so
by
much.
Porter
Sad
Robinson. Please
Machine.
tune in
Oh,
tomorrow.
send
Hear
me back.
Our last alumni of the week, a former station manager. I won't reveal it. You have to listen to find out who it is.